Good afternoon. I'm Alyssa Pasagio with NJ Advanced Media. Welcome to NJ.com Live. This is our lunchtime broadcast where we go over the biggest stories of the day. First, we'd really like to hear where you're watching, so chime in the comments and let us know where you are in the state. We're going to go over two big stories today. Number one, President Obama is going to be speaking at Rutgers commencement. Big news that just broke about an hour ago. And then we're going to speak with reporter Sean Sullivan about a New Jersey state trooper who's accused of attacking a fan at a Giants game. 2014? 2014. Okay, but first, the big news everyone's talking about. Oh, but if you have questions on either story topic, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll get those in front of Sean. And also, we will have the story links there. So, Sean, President Obama is coming to Rutgers University. Very exciting. That's the first, I believe it's the first sitting president to speak at Rutgers commencement.
It is, yes. That's what the university said today.
So, I think what most people want to know is how can they get tickets? Do we have any?
That's actually something that our reporters are working on.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
Yeah, we're not quite sure how the tickets are going to be made available to the public, but we'll let everybody know as soon as we find that out.
Okay, so you'll have to check back later for that one. And how did this come about? Like, how does this sort of thing get started that Barack Obama is going to be coming here?
Well, I think it started when the president of Rutgers University, President Barchi, wrote a letter to President Obama back in, I think it was 2013, asking him to come here, and it was, I'm guessing, a long process that led up to that.
2013, yeah, so that was plenty of time. And do we know when this was decided? We've heard rumors for a few weeks now.
Yeah, it's been out in the ether for a while, but I think that that it was confirmed just yesterday.
Oh, wow, really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we have our initial story up about this already. You should see it in the post content here and in the comments. If you want to look for it later or look for more coverage, which I'm sure we're going to have, it'll be at NJ.com/education. And now let's talk about Sean's big story of the day.
Sure.
So a New Jersey state trooper is accused of attacking a fan at Giants Stadium in 2014? I have that right?
Yeah, it was toward the end of 2014.
So what is the victim saying happened?
Well, this guy says that he was a 49ers fan from New York, and that he was, leaving the game, celebrating with his friends, I guess, in a car or whatever, and got into an argument with this individual and some other folks, and there were words exchanged. We're not exactly sure at this point what they were arguing about, but one of those individuals was an off-duty New Jersey state trooper. They claim that after the argument that the trooper went back and got a beer bottle and actually struck him in the face with it.
Okay. Now, what does the police report say happened? Because that was just what the victim says happened in a lawsuit, right?
Yes. So, the victim has filed a lawsuit. Before that happened, though, I mean, this was 2014. A lot of time has elapsed since then.
Yeah.
The victim was actually originally charged with disorderly conduct over this, and the police report that was written at the time, which was written by uniformed state troopers who responded to the scene, claimed that he was, drunken, acting erratically, yelling, and stuff like that. And that he resisted arrest and made a lot of problems in the troop car.
Okay, so those are two pretty different storylines, and I know it's kind of early on. Can we expect to hear more about the details of the conversations or what else might have happened?
Yeah, I mean, we learned a little bit more through the documents that I was able to obtain this week. The charges against the individual who was arrested were later dropped. And a full year later, an indictment was brought about against the trooper, and so that's sort of where we're at now. The civil suit that the alleged victim filed and the criminal charges against this off-duty trooper are still in kind of their early stages. There's a procedural hearing next week in the criminal matter, and the civil case will probably drag on for a while.
And you're expecting to hear more from witnesses during those?
Yeah, I think that from talking to the attorneys for the alleged victim, it sounds like there were several people who saw this altercation happen and may end up being compelled to testify in court. Okay,
so now this happened in 2014. Mm-hmm. The state trooper, he's suspended now?
He was suspended in, I believe it was in last November, about 10 days after he was indicted. So a long time elapsed between when this incident happened when charges were brought and when he was ultimately suspended without pay, which is what's going on now.
So how long was he on the force before he was suspended between this incident and his suspension?
About 11 months.
Okay, with nothing really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm told that by the state police that an internal investigation was opened immediately, but those investigations often take time, and so he was being investigated internally by the state police, but
Okay.
that investigation is suspended now because of the criminal charges.
Okay. Now, so he was a state trooper, and fellow state troopers responded to the stadium. Is that normal procedure?
Yes, it is, because there are state troopers stationed at MetLife Stadium, and this guy was off duty at the time. The one trooper's report that I was able to obtain indicates that they didn't know that he was a state trooper when he showed up. There is conflict between the two different versions of the story, when they learned that this guy was a state trooper, and whether that caused them to give preferential treatment. That's an allegation that's being made by the attorneys for the alleged victim.
Okay, so we'll probably hear more about that.
Yeah,
as it goes
there
forward.
could be more on that later.
Okay, and then so what is the next step? You said there's a hearing coming in a few weeks.
Yeah, there's a hearing in about another week or so for the criminal case,
Okay.
and the civil case is still in its early stages. They haven't gotten what's called discovery yet, which is basically they ask for whatever evidence the state has about this, and that's when that stuff enters the court record. That's when we'll find out a lot more about what's going on here.
Okay, great. If you haven't read Sean's story about the troopers, it's going to be in the comments below, and it's also at NJ.com/politics. We actually got a question about we don't know the answer to that question. Okay, so one person had a question, and if we don't know the answer, we can follow up with the other reporters. Eric G. on Facebook wants to know that he says that right before Rutgers invited Obama, they changed the rules that made the Newark Business School students not allowed to attend.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we knew that, but
I certainly didn't. I mean, I will
We can
pass.
double
Yeah,
check.
I'll pass that question along
Okay.
to our education reporter. We have a couple people out there now who are trying
Sure,
to find out
working
more
on
about
it.
this story, so
Okay.
we'll find that out for
So
sure.
we'll make sure we get that question in front of the education reporter. Adam Clark, you guys saw him yesterday. So check back to NJ.com/education to see if we can get an answer on that one. And that's it. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Um,
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any feedback about the show, we'd really like to hear what you think about the topics. Are there topics you'd like us to cover in the future? Please leave your feedback in the comments below. And we hope to see you tomorrow at 12:30 for our next broadcast. Thank you.